Hi, folks. Welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Dave. That's Scott down there. We are doing a We are doing a review of Stroker Race, who's born to race with a mean streak 2 feet wide. 1983, starring Burt Reynolds. I know how I feel. But I know you feel differently.
Yeah.
Just like we did on the last race car movie.
Yeah.
How did you feel about it? Tell me what you think?
Okay, so it's a movie. It's a race movie. It's got a great cast. You have got holy crap, Burt Reynolds, Jim Neighbors, is it?
Jim Neighbors. Yep.
Lonnie
Ned
Anderson, Parker Stevenson, Ned Beatty, that's
John Brenner,
Bubba Smith. So there's some recognizable faces in here.
Cassandra Peterson was in this.
Yes, I saw Elvira. Yes. So did Gomer Pyle. He really took in the sights with that. So, okay. It's a race movie. I'm just going to get it out of the way.
I already know what your problem is, but go ahead because I can hardly wait.
You know what? I say over and over and over, you can't judge a movie through today's eyes or standards or where you are. And this is one of those. You cannot. This is an 80s movie. It is full of misogyny, inappropriate, cringe, pervy. Dude, I felt dirty at times. Burt Reynolds' character is not a good guy. But this was a character that's used a lot in the 80s. And I just could not get behind Stroker at all, except when he was a kid. And that kid had a mustache.
See, and I feel slightly different about the character. I feel like, he was a misogynist. He was arrogant. He was egotistical. But there was so much to like about this guy as far as I was concerned. Because he was basically a male whore. That's what he was. He was a whore.
He was.
But he never took advantage of anybody. He never was like, hey, I'm just going to do this whether you like it or not. Lonnie Anderson in that particular scene where she gets a little drunk and she's ready for it and then she passes out. And he's just like, he's trying to talk himself into taking advantage of this woman. And he can't.
Yeah.
He can't. He just leaves.
Well, let me talk about that because that is the one scene that pretty much killed his character for me, because I get what you're saying. Yes, he did not take advantage of her, but they decided this is the perfect time to keep making a joke about taking advantage of her and about taking her clothes off and how easy it would be. And it's like, dude, stop. If he'd have just made, I know he didn't. I know he didn't, but it's like
that he didn't. And whenever she asks him, he's like, what? No, that didn't happen. And she's crying because he didn't. And not that he didn't. And oh my God.
No.
It was a newfound respect for him because she would have thought that this guy of all guys would have done that. And he didn't. I know.
And that's a fair point. But I just,
for me, that actually made his character. Even when I was a kid, hear me out. Even when I was a kid, I saw this at the theater. And that happens. I remember thinking that's how you are. You don't take advantage of people. You don't take advantage of people that can't defend themselves, right? In any aspect. That's how I always looked at it. I thought it was very funny, and I really thought that Lonnie Anderson, for knowing what you know about Lonnie Anderson as a human being, and she's pretty much a good feminist, for her to even back then. For her to go, okay, I see the humor in this, and you're going to put the camera where? That's funny. I get it. I get the joke. And that for me was like, okay, she got the joke. She did it, and that was funny. That for me, Stroker Race it's everything as a kid, especially. He's everything I wanted to be. I wanted to be a smart ass. I wanted to be a race car driver. I wanted to be that asshole who could get into a situation and get out of it. And that's why I like the movie. and then to have somebody like Jim Neighbors as your mechanic.
Which was great. Don't
touch the car. Nobody touches the car.
here's the deal for me. It's the character. It's not Burt Reynolds. It's
Right.
Stroker Ace.
Stroker
Now,
Ace. Yeah, I get it.
Bandit is somebody I see like you do. The Bandit is that lawless,
right,
cool fucking character. Gets the girl, and this Stroker Ace to me just turned me off big time. He would just I don't like him. That's me.
I think I can see why. I mean, because whereas the Bandit really is that he is kind of a sexist. He is kind of a he is all that.
There
stuff.
was just something that just
Stroker
didn't fit
was
right.
A little bit more. Stroker was more.
He turned it up a little bit.
I honestly think this is it. I think I nailed it. Because he was a whore. Because he was basically a male whore. And the thing that really, like, you realize what a douchebag he is when he's on stage.
Yes.
He's going from one woman to another woman to another woman, and they all know him. And they're all like, yeah, it's an old line. And he's like, oh, okay. And
I know you. Yeah. I mean, they showed that's definitely how the character was written.
Yeah. And I'm sure that was absolutely meant for you to dislike.
Absolutely.
But kind of dislike him.
Until
the end, whenever all the stuff happens in his favor. And for me, I was like, no, I get it.
Everything happens in his favor, but he put himself in that whole damn predicament. There's not at least for me, he's not a sympathetic character. He doesn't have the arc that would make me want to get behind him. I'm fine if you want to start off as this misogynistic man whore asshole. Fine, but let's end on a different note. And I guess you could argue that's what they were going for. Lonnie Anderson's church girl persona sure did a quick turn for this guy. I'm just saying.
They've been on the track all season, though. It wasn't like
that is. You know what? That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
They've been going for like months and months and months because she was traveling around with him, and she always had her own room. She always made sure I don't drink. He finally gave her some booze, and she got drunk off of like.
That was another moment that he lied about the alcohol, and it's like,
but there again, he's a dick, and you wouldn't see. And I wonder if they had a cut somewhere where Lonnie Anderson was drunk, like the character was drunk, and they actually showed them fooling around. And if somebody went, you can't have them fool around.
Yeah.
You can't have him take advantage of her like that.
Yeah. And I'm glad they didn't. It was the time that the writers or the directors decided let's draw out these jokes a little too much. It's like this isn't let's joke about sexual assault. Sure, that's awesome.
It didn't really happen. I mean, he thought about it. He thought long and hard about it.
It's just not a time for jokes. But that's me. That's me. That's when I saw this. I was like, no, give me the Bandit. I don't care for Stroker. And Ned Beatty was an asshole too. Oh my God.
No,
you gotta love him.
That is toxic masculinity.
Well, Stroker's right there with him.
No, I think
Stroker is just as toxic, man. He didn't try and
he never pushed himself on her.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
To me, that's the toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Stroker's just a douchebag. If he's going to get laid, he can get laid. That's the difference. I mean,
sounds kind of toxic to me.
Ned Beatty's character thought he was just, I have money, so you should have sex with me.
He absolutely did. He was definitely in a position of power that he tried to use that.
He was gonna try and take it. And that I think was also another difference between the two characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they made sure to show this guy is gonna try to do something dirty. This guy, he may think about doing something dirty, but he's not gonna do it. He's never gonna go across the line. He's never gonna cross that line to tell a woman you have to sleep with me. Ned Beatty's character does.
He did. He got it right in the nuts, or should I say the scrotum?
She kicked it right in the scrotum. What's a scrotum? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to go back under here and ask her. See, that's another great scene.
That is a great scene.
Folks, Ned Beatty's character tries to attack Lonnie Anderson at one point, and because she kicks him right in the nuts, he falls down. He's like, "Oh, you're fired!" And she's already quit by that point. She don't care. The next scene cuts to Ned Beatty coming in. He's all pissed off because he's not getting any from Lonnie Anderson, and he's basically been made a fool of. And he's like, I fired that lady, blah 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 blah. He's going on, and then he looks down, and there's Lonnie Anderson under the car, with Jim Neighbors' character. What was his name?
Uh,
Lugs. She's under the car with Lugs. And you can see her legs. And it's funny because when Ned Beatty goes to step over her, she crosses her legs and comes up real close to his nuts, and he jumps out of the way. That's a great scene. But what's funny is he's like, you can't have her here. And he's like, you better read your contract. I can have whoever I want in my pit crew. You don't tell me who I can have. I have whoever. So he got, not only did he save Lonnie Anderson's job, because basically she's probably getting paid the same amount of money being in the pit crew, and then he actually sticks it to Ned Beatty's character. I'm like, that's that's good. And Lugs is just a great character.
Oh, absolutely.
When he thinks Lonnie Anderson's been taken advantage of, he goes right down there and punches Burt Reynolds right in the mouth.
Because he knows.
On the phone. Like, he doesn't even think twice. He knows he's got punched for something. He just doesn't know what.
So how he gets out of the contract is brilliant. It's fun. It's a great bit of the writing. Here's the thing. This is really cool in this movie. I enjoy the fact that they did intersperse actual NASCAR footage. So a lot of the wrecks.
NASCAR.
Yeah.
Back then, in the actual stock cars like that, that's back.
And a lot of the drivers at the time were in this movie as well. I saw Dale Earnhardt listed and stuff. Yeah, so they were in it. So one of the things I saw in here, if you've ever seen the movie Days of Thunder, Tom Cruise, Val Kilmer, I believe. Yeah. You've seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's the race car one, right? Where the cop's checking him out, and she's like, "What's this?" He's like, "It's my dick."
I don't remember that scene, but I do remember a scene where they're racing through a hospital on gurneys, which we saw an early version on the hotel carts racing.
Yeah.
I remember Days of Thunder.
That's how they did
doing that. Yeah,
yeah. That's where they got it from.
Yeah, so it was kind of neat to see.
Yeah,
this is a decent racing movie. It's entertaining. I think I texted you. I was entertained. I just don't care for it. So, that's where I fall on it. It's like, yeah, it was this was like your Fast and Furious.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I totally understand. We're gonna have to try. Have you ever seen Hooper? Where he plays where Burt Reynolds' character plays the stuntman?
Yes.
I like that movie. That's a good movie.
I think I do too. I just don't. It's been a long time. But I'll go ahead and give. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to mention, I want to mention Parker Stevenson.
Absolutely.
Aubrey James. And he keeps calling him Audrey. Who? He's Aubrey James. Who?
And Number when he 10. Messes up his own name.
Then he messes, exactly. He makes it, all right, Audrey. It's not Audrey. No, he says Aubrey. He's like, no, it's not, because he's gotten it wrong so many times.
Yeah, it's Audrey.
He finally calls him the right name. He's like, it's not Aubrey, it's Audrey. Yep, not Audrey. He's getting sticks up. And Parker Stevenson plays that I'm way too good looking to be a race car driver guy so well. And he's trying to be Stroker Ace. And his pit crew leader keeps saying, don't race the man, race the track. Don't race the man. And he's got a boner against Stroker Ace because Stroker Ace is such a good racer.
Yeah.
For Parker Stevenson to play that part, especially back then, I don't think they could have got a better guy to play. Oh,
it's perfect. It's perfect. It reminds me, and of course not to this comedic level, but Sacha Baron Cohen and Will Ferrell as their rivalries, with that there. So it's like, okay, it's a racing movie. It's fun. It's got some neat scenery. I love the opening when he comes in on 3 wheels.
Oh yeah,
pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that's
pretty damn cool. Yeah. So I will give my final take on Stroker Ace. It is an 80s movie filled with 80s humor and moments. It's a race car movie. It's entertaining. It's got a great cast. Yeah. God bless Jim Neighbors. What a great character. He was probably my favorite part of the movie.
And I think they did a couple of movies together. If I'm not mistaken,
I think they did.
Really good friends.
I could see that. I love that this movie, along with a lot of other Burt Reynolds movies at the time frame, have the outtakes at the end of it. and love seeing Jerry Reed show up in the outtakes, which was really cool.
Yeah, that was good.
Also the Charlie Daniels intro music, the theme song was cool.
Stroker Ace, that song, man. I used to go. I'm telling you, dude. Used to crank that up and just that made me go fast. That's all I can say.
You want to go fast? All right.
That is a racing car song, man. Yeah, I like this movie. I'm all about Burt Reynolds. I'm all about Stroker Ace. That's where you and I differ on this movie quite a bit. The characterization of him, I have no problem with it. I love characters that are just overly over the top on everything. And Burt Reynolds is over the top on everything he wants to be. I just want to know, at what point did he actually sit down and go, you know what? I've done all these serious movies. I did, The Man Who Loved Cat Dancing. I did The Rifleman. I think it was on The Rifleman. He's in some Western back in the day. I did this. I did that. I did all these other, I did the one where they're floating down the river and, Deliverance. I did all that. What do I want to do now? Oh, I know. I'll do comedies. I wish he was still around to ask him when did you decide? Was it an actual, fudge it, I'm going to go do comedies now? Or was it just a gradual thing that somebody went, Burt, you're really funny. You should go do a comedy.
Yeah.
When?
I don't know when, but the fact that he started doing the comedic roles with Smokey and the Bandit after doing all those serious movies, he was just always funny. There's just something about the character that's funny. It's his laugh. It's his smile. It's his energy. He seems on screen. Burt Reynolds always looks like he's having a damn good time. Yeah. And that's one of the things I appreciate about watching. Look, I didn't like the movie and I never once stopped it. I watched it all the way through. So it was entertaining. So there you go, folks. I'm overly critical sometimes. So it's like this.
I get your criticism of the character. I really do. I see why. And I've known other people who didn't like this movie for basically the same reason, even back in the day. But I watch it and I like the only part that I kind of was like, is the scene with Lonnie Anderson passed out.
Yeah.
But it is very funny because he's trying to talk himself into being that guy that you would hate. Mm-hmm. And he can't. It's against his nature. It's not how he was brought up. Yeah. It's not what is him. And you see that and you're like, good. I'm glad he didn't break that character role because that would have destroyed that character. And then I would have never probably ever wanted to see this movie again. But that's me. So
no, I get it. I
understand. I get what you're saying. Absolutely. I absolutely get what you're saying. He's a sexist, male chauvinist pig. And that's all the reasons I like him.
There you go. So your final take is watch it.
Yeah, my final take is
all right. Awesome.
This is actually one of my favorite Burt Reynolds movies.
Very cool. Very cool.
Right up there with Cannonball Run and Smokey and the Bandit and all that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, Burt has got some great stuff. We've done a lot of Burt Reynolds in the past, and we will definitely do more Burt Reynolds in the future. So if you like our reviews and our crazy banter back and forth about absolutely nothing, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, and check us out wherever you get your podcast, listen or watch. We will be there. Later.